Yo, what's going on, guys? It is time for another reaction video, and this one's coming from the YouTube channel Walter's World. So if you like this video, do go check out Walter's World. I've reacted to quite a bit of his content to date, and he puts out a lot of great videos that are very informative about just about anywhere you might want to travel to. So if you're looking for information, I encourage you to go check out his channel. This one is Visit Brazil, 10 Things That Will Shock You About Brazil. Let's see how shocking they really are. Let's get straight into it.
Oi, fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World. Today we're in Mariana, Brazil for the 10 things that are going to shock you about visiting Brazil. And I bet you didn't think you'd see churches like this in Brazil. You thought it was all just, beaches and bikinis. No, there's so much more to shock you about Brazil. But anyway, let's get started with our list of the 10 things that are going to shock you. Okay. Oh, wait. Here's the first thing that's going to shock you when you come to Brazil. Giving the okay sign might get you punched in the face, because the okay sign here in Brazil is worse than the middle finger, so do not use it. I remember the first time I came to Brazil and somebody let us go through. I go, oh, thanks, okay. And my friend reached across the car and said, what are you doing? We're going to get beat up. I'm like, what? I said it's okay. No.
I definitely did not know that one. I remember as a kid, we used to say that this was ASS hole. So you're like, hey, asshole. Does anybody else remember that, or did anybody else do that as a kid? Let me know.
Brazil, this is not okay. Brazil, you always give the thumbs up, all right? So that's the first thing that's going to shock you. You get punched in the face for giving the okay symbol. Now, the second thing that might shock you about Brazil is, let's put it this way. You don't need to bring your modesty when you come here. You will see more skin here in Brazil than you ever thought you would when you go to the beach, because it's all about having the smallest bikini to show the most amount of skin. And there's no fat shaming here. That's why I love this place. It is my favorite country to go to, by the way. People ask me, Brazil's my favorite. And you can't, there's no modesty here. People will talk about anything. They'll make jokes about anything. You might think, oh, that's not politically correct. That's a, no, they're pretty hilarious here with all these things. But the thing is, the modesty, you're going to see a lot of skin here, and that's one way you can tell the tourists at the beach. Tourists have more stuff covered. Brazilians have less stuff covered at the beach, okay? I won't show any pictures of me at the beach because ninguém merece. No one deserves that, okay? But that's the second thing that's going to shock you, is all the skin you're going to see, and no need to bring the modesty in your suitcase.
Already familiar with that one. I've watched a handful of Brazil videos so far, and I know a decent amount about Brazilian culture in general. So yeah, that one's not a new one on me, but let's see what else he's got on the list.
All right. Now, the third thing that's going to shock you when you come here is kind of the laid-back attitude here. Look, nothing happens quickly in Brazil. You want the bill. Hey, I need the bill quickly. They'll say, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Take your time, okay? You're going to get a bus ticket or a train ticket or something like that. Look, I think they actually cut down a whole tree for each set of train tickets and bus tickets they print out for you. It takes a long time getting the bill, getting to places on time. Well, on time means, I say 9 o'clock, it means 10 o'clock. And no one's upset about that. So make sure you come here and realize you're going to have to chill out, okay? And it does shock tourists when they come here because they expect, hey, things are going to happen quickly. No, it's all about the laid-back nature here. Right, Caleb?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so even Caleb knows. Now, the fourth thing that shocks you, and this actually shocked me, is if your beer isn't cold, you can send it back. In Brazil, you drink your bean bem gelado, well chilled, or bem geladinha, really chilled. And if the beer isn't super cold, you can actually send it back. This isn't like in Europe where it's like a little bit cold, or the US was kind of cold. Here, you'll see in the refrigerators where they sell the beer, it'll have the temperature on there. And seriously, you might have a little ice crystal here and there, but if it isn't cold enough, you can send it back.
I can appreciate that. I have to have, like, I can't drink anything at room temperature except for possibly water, maybe. If it's coffee, it needs to be hot or iced, right? If it's tea, I typically only drink hot tea if I'm sick or something. It needs to be iced tea, right? If I'm drinking sodas or any alcoholic beverages, it needs to be cold. And with beer, it needs to be really cold. The moment it starts going lukewarm or room temperature, I can't do it. Just can't do it. Beer needs to be cold. So I agree with that one.
Okay, and that kind of shocks people. Hey, my beer is in bem geladinha, send it back, and they're totally okay with that because I know it's got to be really cold. Now, the fifth thing that'll shock you when you come here are the mosquitoes. Look, we're here in the winter of Brazil. I mean, obviously winter. I'm in t-shirts and stuff like that. And we haven't had too many mosquito problems, but I've been in Brazil during mosquito season, and I had my bracelet with the anti-mosquito stuff, mosquito spray. You notice the boys are all covered up for mosquitoes just in case, spray like that. And literally, I remember in the Pantanal, I could see where my spray stopped working because there was like a shield of mosquitoes there. So mosquitoes can be really, really bad, especially so when you're coming in the summer. Make sure you bring your DEET, you know, your bug spray with DEET, and your wristbands that fight off bug stuff, because you really need that here. Even the Brazilians will tell you the pernilongos, that's mosquitoes, can get you, and there's ones that are a hell of a lot tougher than they have in the US and Europe that'll really get you. So you will be shocked about how crazy the mosquitoes can be when you come here in the summer. Okay?
That's a good tip for me, because for whatever reason, here in the U.S., mosquitoes love me. Like, nobody else can be getting bit, and they'll eat me alive. I'm used to big mosquitoes here in Texas. We always joke about everything being bigger in Texas, but the mosquitoes are even bigger than bigger. So I'm used to big mosquitoes, but I obviously know how to avoid them here locally. My question would be, is the mosquito issues there, is it everywhere, like even in the cities, or is it in the mostly in the rural areas or areas around water? So if anybody knows the answer to that one, let me know. Is it mosquitoes across the board a lot to deal with, or is it only in particular areas of the country?
Okay. Now the sixth thing that might literally shock you are the electric showers here. In Brazil, you might be going to like a posada, kind of like a bed and breakfast, smaller hotel kind of thing, or staying at someone's house and using one of their showers, or maybe you're in the Pantanal or Amazonas, and you'll be taking a shower and you'll look up and you'll see on your metal shower head or something like that, there's some wires, electrical wires going into the wall, or better yet, going into a plug. You're thinking, wait, I'm going to turn the water on? Why, it's connected to electricity? Yes, they have electric showers here. Is it everywhere? Probably if you're at a hotel, you won't see it so much, but if you're gonna do some of that adventure tourism, getting out and seeing the beauty of Brazil, you will see some of those electric showers. You will be okay. It's just sometimes you're like, I don't know if I feel safe doing this. It does kind of shock people. You won't get shocked, but it can be shocking. One word of advice, if you are going to use those electric showers, turn the water on just a little bit, because if you put the water on too much, it can't heat the water as much, so the hot shower won't be as hot. So just turn a little bit of water on, so that when the water comes through, it can heat all of that there.
So it's to heat. That was going to be my question, was it some sort of an electric pump for water pressure? But it sounds like it's to heat the water. That just seems dangerous, but I guess if it's like all over the place, they must have found a safe way to do it. But I've never in my life heard of that before. That's totally a new one on me.
Okay, now the next thing that's going to shock you is you don't throw the toilet paper down the toilet. The toilet paper is for that trash can next to the toilet. Look, the pipes in Brazil, maybe not the best ones out there, maybe not big enough. I don't know the true reason behind it. Maybe it just can't handle it. But you have to realize, you might be shocked if you do throw your used toilet paper in the trash can next to you. And I've seen it at airports, at bars, at restaurants. You do throw it in there because the pipes can't take it. And that can be a bit shocking for some people, going, wait, I put my toilet paper in there? So when you go to your hotel, you might ask them, hey, do I use the toilet? Do I put my toilet paper in the toilet, or do I put it in the trash can by the toilet? So
I know there's other countries that it's like that as well. I haven't really visited anywhere that I've ever been where it had to be put into the trash can rather than the toilet. But it just makes me think, like, if it's your own residence or it's a hotel room where you're the only people in that room, then it's maybe not such a big deal. But to me, where it would seem like it would get kind of gross is like if you're using public restrooms. Yeah, I mean, we know what's on the toilet paper, so how much of that gets into a trash can before they come and empty it? It seems kind of unsanitary, kind of gross, but I'm sure that it's controlled at some level. So
that can be kind of shocking, especially for Americans when they come here going, wait, what's that? It's not everywhere, but it can be a bit interesting. Now, the eighth thing that might shock you when you come here is Yes, the Brazilians are just as crazy and just as fun and just as awesome as you've heard about on TV, radio, music, all this kind of stuff. Brazilians are awesome. They will show you their country. They will show you around. They'll tell you what to eat. They'll tell you you shouldn't be eating that, you should be eating this. They'll yell at you, your beer's not cold enough, throw that away. They are crazy, insane fun, especially if you can come at Carnival when they really go nuts. Carnival is fantastic, and you'll be shocked about how much skin, how much music, how much loudness, all this kind of stuff you have here in Brazil. It all comes together there, but it really comes from the people because they love their music. The music here is awesome, and the vibe of the people is just so crazy that you'll be shocked. Just, wow, these people really are super nice. No, they probably won't speak much English, but you'll still be able to communicate with them okay because they are so friendly and so helpful that you will be all right, all right? Now, the ninth thing that'll probably shock you to death when you come to Brazil is driving. Look, driving in Brazil, I don't recommend it. Take the bus, fly with Gol, do whatever, take a taxi. Don't drive on your own because it can be white knuckle, oh my God, as semis swerve like this on the highways and people are running across the highways and stuff like that. And it can be really, really like heart attack inducing when you're driving here. Also, when you are in the bigger cities like Sao Paulo, Rio, you may think, oh, I found a parking spot. Oh, no, no, no. There'll be a guy there saying, oh no, come this way. Come this way, and he'll say, "Oh, I saved this parking spot for you, for you, my buddy." And you got to tip the guy a couple reals. I mean, the nicer the place is, the more you tip them. Otherwise, something bad might happen to your car. But seriously, the driving in Brazil will give you a heart attack. Okay. The 10th thing that's going to shock you when you come to Brazil is you can literally swim with jacaré, i.e. alligators, and piranhas. If you're going to the Pantanal, one of my favorite experiences is just floating on an inner tube down the Pantanal, and my friend Fernando tells me, Mark, look behind you. And I look behind me, and there's a jacaré. The alligator's head is like here for me to the camera, okay?
I'll pass on that. Alligator or piranhas. I don't want to be getting bitten by anything in dark waters.
I'm like, I just kind of moved over. He's like, oh no, they're kind of docile here. Remember, everything's kind of laid back. Even the alligators are a bit chilled out here, okay? But it was just kind of like, oh my God, you can actually swim with these guys. And you can go with the piranhas. They won't eat you. You can fish for piranhas. Actually tastes pretty good. So that's kind of crazy. Now, of course, you know, I'm really bad at math. You know, my PhD's in banking. So, you know, fuzzy math works for me. So our 10 shocks, I'm going to give you a couple extra ones. The 11th thing that will shock you here is one of the things that will kind of like open your eyes is the inequality in Brazil. You will see the favelas, the shanty towns here, and you'll see, wow, there is a lot of poverty here in Brazil. And you're like, wow, there's so much poverty, but there's so much potential, there's so much stuff here that it is kind of shocking. And when you're in Rio, you really see the favelas going up the hills. Other places like Sao Paulo, you don't see it so much. It's on the outskirts, but when you travel around the country, you do see that inequality. So if you can help people out, do help people out, okay? And the 12th thing, let's stop, we'll finish with something happy. The 12th thing that's gonna shock you when you come here is how much weight you're gonna put on when you're here. Because, boys, if you like the food here, yeah, the boys have liked the food here quite a bit. Here, come here, Liam. So the boys have liked the food here quite a bit. So Liam, he's been eating the linguiça, which is the sausage. And what about the sorvete? You like the ice cream here? Yeah.
So when he was talking about the favelas, I'm somewhat familiar with that. And then it made me think of a movie, and I can't remember if it is City of God or City of Men. I think it's City of God. Came out in 2002. So I watched that movie way back in 2002. It's hard to believe that movie's freaking 21 years old at this point. If I was told correctly, that movie was actually filmed in the favelas, and some of it was actual people from the favelas. So it's like, it was kind of a very realistic depiction of how life is there. If you're not familiar with what favelas means, it's kind of like here in the U.S. of the not so good areas of town, right? But it's kind of like, it's a really big area, and like you were saying, it's hillside, so it's kind of like multi-tiered and stacked, and like they'll just build upon things on top of other things, and some people in the favelas are living better than others, and it's kind of, at least the way it was depicted in that movie, it was kind of very gang-ridden. It could have changed since then, because like that movie was 21 years ago, but that's what I'm familiar with of the favelas. And then I've seen it in music videos and movies and things like that as well. But Let me roll it back a little bit because I didn't catch what he was saying here.
Here, because boys, if you like the food here, yeah, the boys have liked the food here quite a bit. Here, come here, Liam. So the boys have liked the food here quite a bit. So Liam, he's been eating linguiça, which is the sausage. And what about the sorvete? You like the ice cream here? Yeah, the ice cream here, pão de queijo. He's been eating up so much. I think he's gained like 10 pounds while he's here. I think I've gained 10 pounds. There's so much great food when you're here. From the meat, picanha. Oh, you gotta have a little bit of, the steak with a little bit of fat on it. It's so good. See, Caleb can hardly carry Liam now. The food, the fruit, the meat. There's food here you've never even heard of. Pão de queijo, cheese bread. Oh, we have that at Pizza Hut. Now, pão de queijo is this special kind of bread they make with cheese. It is fantastic. The fruits here. Did you know cashew nuts actually are in a fruit, and it's on the top of the fruit, and they make juices out of that? There's so much great food. Here in Minas Gerais, for me, it's the best food out there, with beans and rice, and I guess you'll be shocked how many beans and rice you will eat here. There's so many great things, and all the regions around Brazil have different food. In your Bahia, have acarajé, this bean paste fried thing with dried shrimp inside. Oh my God, it's so good. But you will love it. And you'll be shocked how much you too will fall in love with Brazil when you are here, because I'll be honest, the people, the food, everything about this place is fantastic. Don't be scared about Zika or yes, there is crime here. You got to be careful, but don't let that keep you away, because this place is fantastic. So anyway, we all want to say, hey guys, come here. Now that we got the whole family here, we just want to say bye from Brazil. It's a fantastic place. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of great more videos on visiting Brazil. Fantastic place. Anyway, bye from Brazil. Adeus. Fica bem. Até logo. I'm going to have a cerveja bem geladinha, Brahma. Yay! Because the kids are driving us crazy. Bye.
Cool video. Learned a few new things from this one. I've done a handful of Brazilian reactions so far. And I've even mentioned in those as well that I dated somebody who's from Rio for like a year and a half or so. And I got to know a lot about Brazilian culture through her and her family. Shout out to her father if he's watching over in Rio, Renato. I hope you're doing well. And her friend Renata. So yeah, that's another thing I learned, that R's are pronounced like H's, just like in Spanish J's are pronounced as H's. In Brazil, R's are pronounced like H's. If you're in Brazil and you're watching this video, let me know if most of this list or all of this list is accurate, and let me know if what I said about the movie was accurate as well, and how it depicted favelas. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. If you're new here and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me. Stick around to the end of this video. There will be a playlist loaded full of videos, reactions, all sorts of stuff that I've done. Yeah, and we'll wrap it up here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later.